Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and look at this messy desk. I just cannot believe it. You see that? Well, maybe you can't even see it. I actually have my tea on my desk only because there's nowhere else to put it, and it's too hot to drink. So I'm just gonna leave it there. But this is embarrassing. This desk is embarrassing. Anyway, today is Thrifty Thursday. And I have just been, I don't know, flying 1 foot off the ground since my last video. I've been just making stuff and making a mess. And I think tomorrow, instead of having a follow-up Friday, I'm going to have some type of episode of Craft with Me. I might even put one up tonight where I'm just going to do random crafting. And, you know, if it's something that you like, I'm hoping that you'll leave comments on the videos, you know, but that I'll save for my next video. But yeah, I'm hoping that it'll be something that you like, so I can get some of my work done and justify it by doing a video. But today is Thrifty Thursday, and so I'm just going to give you a quick show of what I got this week, and I have some fun stuff. I got some interesting things this week. One of them was this little 50-sheet Kids Corner notebook. It's for drawing and writing. Now the first page has some scribbles on it, so I'm just going to take that page out and put it in the pile of my stuff that I can use for miscellaneous papers. What I like about it is on the background, or the back side, it's just plain paper. It's kind of an off white color, a little bit of aging around the edges, so it's perfect to use for backgrounds or back sides of journaling cards. And then the front is also good for doing journaling cards because of the lines. You can cut out a little piece to put on the back of a card, or it doesn't have to be a journaling card. It could be a tag or an ATC and have lines to write on. You can also cut these out in pieces to spot elements in your journals and again have a little writing space or have a hidden writing space. Lots of possibilities. So this book, I think, cost me 25 cents. Yay. And it is pretty full. And I'm going to come back to this book because there is one more thing that I want to show you at the end of the video. So I'm going to put it at the bottom and turn it upside down so we don't have to constantly look at it. And then I'll move on to the next thing. Now this I paid $2 for it. Back in the day, it was $5.95. I'm sure some of you have seen these before. They are packages, or in this case, it's 50 sheets of wrapping paper, but a lot of times they have a very thin tissue paper in here, which is really nice to work with for journals. So I'm just gonna open this up for you to see. And some of the papers are, you know, they're pretty funky, that I may not use them, but they come in little stacks like this each time, and they're a very thin wrapping paper, but some of them have tissue. Okay, let's take a look at some of the patterns. Like, whoa, I don't think I'll ever use that. Just saying. Okay, so, and that is a harder, this one is a wrapping paper. But then there's this one. Isn't that beautiful? And it's a lightweight tissue. And another sort of tissue weight. It's got a bit of a sheen to it, but you can always do a matte sealer over top. Now this one is also a thin tissue, and then this one. But there's 50 sheets in here, so I'm sure there's other kinds. I'm just going to grab one more. I don't want to bore you with actually looking at every sheet, but we'll go through another one and see. Or maybe they are all the same. Oh, in this case they are. So I've got a lot of this camouflage, greeny, floral pieces. And that's like, it's like paper. It's like real wrapping paper. Matte finish. But the rest of these are all the same. Double check on this one. Yeah, it looks like they're all the same. So, oh no, look at that. Okay, flip it onto the other side. Let's have a look at this batch. Looks like there's two different piles. So this one, again, a very lightweight tissue. That's ugly. but it's a lightweight tissue. It'd be good in collage. You know, it could be good to wrap something to send out in the mail. This is pretty. Another tissue. I like that one. Another tissue type. And then this wrapping paper. Oh, this is nice. This would work nice in a signature for sure. It's the right weight, so it's like a paper. And then the first one. So I think for the price for $2, I have a lot of material to work with here, and you know, some of it can be used for collage, some of it can be used for backing, some of it we'll just put in the gifty pile. If anybody wants any of this camouflage collage, let me know. But anyway, for $2, it was well worth it, and I will distribute and share these in upcoming giveaways and stuff. So then I'm venturing out of the regular comfort zone. I bought these. They're like a little wallet. Now they all say Kobo. I don't know what Kobo is. Maybe some of you do that are out there. But these two are Kobo. And then this one is just a bigger wallet. They were all $1 each. But this one just screamed folio journal cover to me. It's got this black faux alligator print on it or something. It hasn't been used by the looks of it. I don't know what this is for. Maybe that's to, I guess that's to keep it from coming right to the bottom. But it's got a nice little tuck spot here. You could put a business card or journal card. Looks like you can tuck something in on this side. I really don't know, unless it was like for an iPad maybe. I don't know. I don't have an iPad, so I don't know how that works. But it's just a nice little book cover. It's ready to go. All I have to do is put in a signature. And I could probably put in one nice signature. It's very soft here, so it'll be easy to stitch through. I could put one nice signature in here and it's good to go. So I'm going to give that a try. But then these ones, like I said, they're from a company that says Kobo. I don't know what that means, but they're like an envelope. I think what I would do is I would take out the stitching on these and then again use it as some type of a journal cover. Now on the inside it says Roots. Fill me in, people. I know that the brand name Roots, but I don't know what this means. But I would just open up these stitches on either side so that I could turn it into a book cover. And then what a cool way to close the book and then have a closure in it. So I thought, you know, for a couple of dollars, I'm going to just give them a try and see what happens. It would be very interesting to create with. I don't think it'll take much. I love this red one. Again, these are items that don't look like they've been used much. There's maybe a little bit of dust in here, but the red one is very pretty and would be very easy to, again, put a small journal in there, like a small signature, and use it as a little tiny journal. Kind of cute. So there you go. That's those things. And then, now this one cost me $6, but I have a purpose for this. And I think in the end it was well worth it. It is a big pile of yarn. Now, I'm not going to undo it because it would be too hard to do it up again. It's a very soft chenille feel to it. And it looks like faux fur in a way. So I think I might use this for trimmings on a few things. But I just liked how it looked, and I was in the market I wanted to get some faux furs, fake furs, and like any kind of imitation stuff. And so when I saw this, I right away said, okay, I'm going to try this for my project. And if it works out, I will expand on that idea further. I want to use it for some scarves, but it would be more like a trim, not to crochet or knit or anything. I just want to use it as a trim. So that might be a possibility. And I was very happy with it. And for $6, I got 4 huge skeins. I know this is not cheap stuff. So I know that it's probably at least $5, $7, $10 a skein. for this big stuff. So I look at it as if it were $5, as low as $5, that's $20 worth for $6. So I think I did okay on the price. I just hope it works. So then, this next one here, I actually picked out what the girl was putting in the bag for me because she was sorting these out, and I said, oh, I'd be interested in, and I said, how are you selling? And she says, by the bag. I said, can I pick the colors to go in the bag? And she said, sure. So I said, well, I'll pick a bunch and then I'll walk away and you fill the bag however you fill them, because I don't know if I can have 10 rolls or 4 rolls. But she filled it however she wanted to, and I paid $1.99. And so I think I got everything I wanted. It's all fibers, wools. So I got this really fuzzy purple fiber, and it's brand new on the roll. Well, I'll start with this one here first. I got this pink, which is a very cotton feel to it. It's like a rope almost, which I thought was really cool. This would be really, really nice for tassels. Not that the other one wouldn't, but I really like this stuff. And then I got pretty much a full roll of this, also that boho style of trim. What do they call it? Boa? No, is this one boa or eyelash? One is boa and one is eyelash, and I always mix them up. So I call them flu fibers because they're all kind of floofy. And then I got this black, and it looks like this is a roll, and then there's some part rolls. So it's a little bit sparkly, but it's still very pretty, and I know I will use it. And then I got this, which I'm not really sure. It looks like black has been rolled on top of a little bit of an orange fiber, which makes me think of this stuff. It looks like it's like this pink stuff. A little bit fuzzy on it, but it has some sparkles in it too. So that's buried underneath there. But right away I looked at that and I said, oh, Halloween. I'm going to just put this in a box of my Halloween stuff. Just these two together, because there isn't a lot of this orange on here. But you know, the two colors together just said Halloween to me. But the rest I'll distribute in my proper color boxes that I put this into. But I thought for $2, $1.99, it was well worth it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balls. I mean, even if you paid $1, it would be $6. So, and they're not. It's not like you can find this that easily for $1. You have to find it at a thrift shop, pretty much. And it's brand new roll. So, and same with this one, is pretty much a brand new roll. So, score for me. And thank you to that lovely clerk that put this together for me. Like I said, I think I got everything that I said I liked. But I didn't want her to be pressured that, you know, maybe they're only supposed to put 4 in a bag, or maybe they're only supposed to put so many of one kind in a bag. So I said, these are the ones I like. However you mix it up and give me back a bag, I'll be happy. And then if I have to buy a second bag, I will. And so I got everything I think I wanted. So next on the list is a bag of threads, and there's a little pair of scissors in here. There's a package of needles in here. This was $2. This is how I always buy thread. I watch for these bags, and they come up all the time. And you know how much a spool of thread costs. Even if you go to Dollarama, you're still looking at 3 for $1. And if you can still find them 3 for $1, I don't know. And then there's larger needles here, all kinds. But this is all thread colors I would use. You know, and then this cute little pair of scissors. I don't know if they're sharp enough, but I'll try them out and see. If not, like as long as they cut thread, they would be cute to put in a little needle book. I have a pattern to make them one day. I just gotta figure out when I can make them. But yeah, so for $2, I always scoop these up because I usually get my money's worth easily on these. And sometimes you'd be surprised of the types of thread you find in there. The quality is amazing. A lot of times they're the 3 for $1 thread. Like this is but this is Zeller's, so I think this is pretty old. I don't think you get them 3 for $1 anymore. Maybe 2 for $1. Or maybe they sell them in packages now. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't bought thread for ages because I always look for these things and find them. And like this has got a Woolco sticker on it. Can you believe it? I should almost peel those off of here and save them for art. And actually, this must have come from thread, one of the thread spools. And I do keep all of these thread spools when I find them. And I use them in my I don't know if you remember this book. This is my collage bits and pieces. As you can see, I'm a little bit far behind. I have lots of extras to glue in here. This is my glue book. I just keep gluing in here, and I'll see if I can find one that has one of those thread spools on it. See, these were labels from spices. I can't see what that one is. Oh, it's black pepper and red chili flakes. They came on some little glass bottles that I bought at a thrift shop, and then I washed the bottles and I left them soaking in the water to get the labels off, and I came back a half an hour later and all these labels were floating on top. So I said, oh, well, guess what? Those are going to become art. And so they got glued down. And this is the fun part, is just taking random things and gluing it on. So I'm trying to find, here's another spice one. Yeah, I got quite a few of them. This one, part of the, it was a book cover, and part of the label, the paper jacket that was on it came off. And so I just figured the green years, it worked really nice on this green paper. I don't know what these are going to be at this point. Here's more paper. Of course, now that I want to find one of those labels to show you. Oh, here we go. Here's one of the, I don't know if you can see that, sewing labels that came off of something that I just added on there because it had colors of blue. It's not quite stuck down. I have to stick it down better, but I thought I had more than that. Anyway, I keep this book. Oh, here we go. Here's one with different sewing labels that came off of the thread, including a price tag. I just glue them all down onto here, and then I use it for whatever purpose, whether I'm making a journal card or a tag. I just incorporate that into it. And this would be great in a sewing journal if you're doing anything with sewing, to add these kind of labels in there. So I don't throw them out. I just add them on, and it gets it off my desk. And I always make jokes about it, and you've heard me talk about it before. How many times have you taken that little butterfly that's sitting on your desk right now and moved it? You move it, and you move it, and you move it. And then finally, you either throw it in the garbage or you throw it in a box, and it just gets piled up with other things. At least in my world, it does. So I've made a point now of when I have that loose butterfly or that little piece of paper, it gets put in here. Maybe I don't glue it in right away, because this is also this was from some tatting. I just found the color very, very interesting. And so it just sits in here until I'm doing a page that's got, you know, maybe some black and gold or maybe some burgundy that could use that. So I do eventually sit down, usually after I've done a few projects where I've got a lot of stuff, I will sit down and glue all this stuff into the book. This was a little bias tape paper. My goodness, I got off track here, didn't I? But this is a bias tape paper that was from bias tape, and it will get glued in here onto something as well. So I'm going to put that aside and try to get back on track. Back on track here. Back on track. Okay, so then there are belts and jewelry. So I picked up these 2 belts. They are leather. Now, a number of uses for these. One, I checked them over. They are in pretty good shape. They're not too badly worn. Picked them up. I think one was $1 and the other was 50 cents. A belt can be cut down to go around a journal. So you can use it as a closure for a journal, especially if you're doing something on a masculine side where you want it to look a little bit more masculine. This is something that could be added onto it very nicely. You know, this great big buckle looks really sharp if you have that as a finishing on your journal. So that would really give a nice finish to it. And then you cut it down and you still would have pieces left over. Leftover pieces, depending on your die cutting machines that you have and the dies that you have. If you have one of the big kicks and use the big kick dies, you can cut through this and cut different shapes. I've cut this leather like this into hearts, circles, all kinds of small miniature pieces that I can use in my art projects or for making jewelry or whatever. So never just throw it out unless you can test it with your machines and see if it works. But yeah, lots of uses. I also will consider using this as a purse handle on a purse. The only problem with that is how I connect it to the handbag itself, because it's too thick to sew through all of this in the handbag. So I may have to come up with a method of hooking it onto a secondary belt that's a little thinner, but that's a different project. But for junk journaling, this makes a great journal cover closure. So I have that one, and then this one has a nice pattern in it. So this one will also get used for journals. It's very thick, so that is probably the reason what I'm going to use it for. Now, it's obvious that the belt is way too long for the average journal. I'm going to have to cut it down. But your corner chompers, if you've got any of those corner things like it's coming. The crocodile. Sorry, the crocodile has a whole family of corner chompers and edge chompers. So if you cut it down, you can use one of your chompers to finish off the edge, and then you can use your crocodile to make new holes into it, so it'll fit your journal. So that's how I would do it. So if you don't have a crocodile, you may want to consider investing one. I don't talk a lot about tools, because I try to find alternatives all the time. But the crocodile is an amazing hole puncher, and it also does the eyelets and grommets and stuff. I never use it for that. I just use it for punching holes. But it'll go through CDs and make a hole in a CD, and just one of the best tools I've ever worked with. And since I got it, I used to make jokes that if the house was burning down and I could only get one craft item out of the room, that would be the item I would take, because it's just such a versatile tool. Even my husband, when he goes to use it, because he does come in and use it for his work, he's got a 15-minute usage time, and I time him that he has to bring it back because he's notorious for taking things like my scissors or other tools, and then I never see them again. But the crocodile, he's always on a 15-minute timer, and it's a big joke about it. But anyway, getting off track again. So then there's all of this jewelry that I found this time. Again, all $1 a piece. These are all brooches. Now, I don't think that they're very old, but very pretty. This one's has lots of little glittery stones in it and enamel in the leaves, but no markings on it. And it's got a newer clasp. This one is a big burgundy or sort of deep red acrylic flower. Older class, probably 1950s or 60s. And lots of fuzz on here. I don't know where that's from. Must have come off somebody's jacket maybe. But it's what I like about it is it's very hard to find nice big flower daisies like this that aren't chipped or cracked or broken. So this was a really great find for $1. I really like that one. Then I got this turquoise cross. I don't think it's real turquoise. It might be coming off of here a little bit. It looks like it's moving. But it is a pretty piece. Great chain that I can harvest for something. A great piece that I can use as a dangle or use as on a journal cover. Love the color, of course. And like I said, I don't think it's real turquoise. It's just a molded piece of plastic, but it looks really nice. So again, for $1, well worth the investment there. Another brooch. This one is an older one, and it's very chippy. The clasp is built in, older clasp. So my guess is 1950s, again, 1960s. So this must have all come at the same time from somebody's collection, because I bought them all at once. But it's a very interesting piece. As chippy as it is, I like the whole look of it. So this one will be used either on a journal or on a handbag, one way or another. Then there was this elephant pendant, and I just loved it. That says boho to me, so it will go on one of my journals or one of my bags, one way or another. And lots of glitter, and there's black stones in it, and then some enamel in here that it's a really nice piece. $1. And then this very long necklace. And it is made with, those are coconut shells that have been polished into beads, polished with little holes in them, and then lots of seed beads in between. I could take this apart and harvest everything, or I can use it as a multi-strand, or I can cut it up into smaller strands. Oh, it looks like they've got it, it's double strand. But I could cut it up into smaller strands, and, you know, you're going to lose some beads at either end. But then just tie it onto something like a jump ring or some type of closure. So you maybe lose about 2 inches of beads to get to the string so that you can tie it with, and then just start it at another spot and do the same thing. Cut it and take off as much as you need in order to tie it, and then you can use it in small pieces. So there's lots here to work with. I don't know for sure if I would use it all in one strand, but it's possible. So someday I'll show you things that I've made where I've used some of this jewelry too as adornments on my jewelry or on my projects. But for now, they just go into the stash. And I do plan to do another studio video, but I'm not quite finished unpacking things yet. So things come in here and they just, I'll have a couple of tubs piled on top of each other, and then things for the day get piled up on top of each other. So it's a little bit messy in here right now, but I do want to do a new studio tour because I've changed a lot since I showed you the last one. And it is it is my happy place. It's just a messy happy place right now. But once I do have everything organized again, which it's coming slowly, then I will do a studio tour. So that's the jewelry. And then I have a couple more pieces to show you, but I wanted to show you this next thing. This I got from my friend Angie at the market. And she right away, when she found this, she thought of me, and so she gifted it to me. And then I've gifted her a couple things back since, and I told her just go pick whatever you want out of my shop. And she's picked a couple things, but I know there's something she wants that I'm going to get for her. This is ribbon. Now there's 15 feet on here, which is like, what, 5 yards? Yeah. I don't know if it's all here, but it looks like it is. There's a piece of tape here, so that might be an indication that it is. But this ribbon has the most beautiful adornments on it, embellishments on it. It's like a snippet roll. I would just cut off pieces of it and use it in small little bits. So this is my precious right now. And I just, every time I see it, I look at it and I touch it and I play with it. And I think, well, I could make this. Why don't you make stuff like this? So I'm just going to have this sitting in my studio for a while and just love it. And then one day I'm going to sit down and see if I can't reproduce this in my own way. So stay tuned for that someday video. But yeah, it's just a beautiful roll of goodness. It's like it's a snippet roll. I don't even think I'll take it off of here. I think what I'll do is maybe put some nice paper on either side of it and just hang it up in my room as it is, and just snip off little pieces to use whenever I have the want to do that. So thank you, Angie. I love this ribbon, and it's going to be my precious for a long time, and it's just going to sit in my stash, so I will enjoy it. And then back to our regular scheduled program. This was at the same thrift shop that I got the wool. That's why I have the same green bag. Now this was also $1.99. Lots of tassel trim. And you know this stuff is expensive if you buy it brand new. It's not brand new. It's probably come from off of a project, like maybe a pillow or drapes or something. But it is in really good shape. When you pick this stuff up, if it's really curly, wrinkly like this, I will often just mist it with a little bit of water, like a little bit of spray, and I will iron it and iron them flat again so that they do hang nicer. You can also, whenever you have one or two missing, because that happens sometimes where they fall off, you can either just, if you look closely here, there's a little thread here you can cut. So you can snip the tassel right off, use the tassel separately, or if it's in really bad shape, you can use this trim separately. Because there's a tassel, you can also, if you don't want the tassel, you can take the tassel off and dangle from there, or a bead. You could use this in 3 little pieces like this just to make a little accent on your journal. And if this is too thick for your journal, you could add something that is finer on it to so it stays flat in your book and stays flat on the page. But it's great to decorate like a little pocket, or use as trim on the outside of your journal, of course, and lots of other possibilities. So don't hesitate, even if it looks a little wonky and worn. That just adds to your journal, and it can be ironed. I've ironed it many, many times, and it will lay nice and flat and look nice again. So in the same bag, I got a mountain of this. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen this before, and you most likely pass it up because it's a really thick cord. This is meant to go where this is stitched inside of a pillow. So this is the trimming on the edges of pillows. And I know you've seen these. You probably have some of these pillows, or grandma does at her house. So you are familiar with it. But a lot of times you probably go, what would I use it for? I have no use for it. Well, my pretties, there is lots of use for it. This can be the top of your trim. And you can take something as simple as this and glue it down. And you now have a 2-tone trim that you can add onto your journals. You can stitch some buttons here, some pearls, add a string of beads. Like this, for example. You can stitch all that onto there, and you have a very unique trim that nobody else has ever, because you've hand chosen different things. So you can cut it and just have a small piece that you work with, or you can use long extended pieces. But you can make yourself some really fun and inexpensive trims, because if you had to even go and buy either one of these brand new at a store, just walk into a thrift shop and price these things, you will gasp, because the prices are crazy. Now, I do have some lace on the table here somewhere. Let's see. Oh, I got this right here. Maybe there's something in here I can show you. Yes. So, here's another example. You can take that off, and maybe you have a piece of this. Now, this came off of a scarf. I've told you many times to take the trims off of scarves. You can glue this down to the bottom. And this also becomes a really nice trim or finish on one of your journals. It gives a little bit more stability because you have this piece here to glue onto, and then you can just keep adding things onto that. I don't know what I've got here. Like, I've got these little flowers. This might not be the best choice here, but we'll try it. So that changes the look of the trim again. Another one that I'll just see if there's, oh, I've got this trim here. That would have been pretty too, to just add something like that onto there. And that gives you a whole new look. So you have something to glue with by using this as the base. And then you've got this fancier trim edge on the side. So you really can create some fun trims. Oh, here, this is a good one. This is another, and I'm sure you've bought trims or worked with trims like this. This is kind of a GIMP with a little bit more fancy edge on it. I can add that at the bottom. And now I've got the two trims, but I also have these little loops at the bottom that I can dangle, you know, charms or bead dangles or any handmade embellishments from this to create another look again. So when you see this trim, like, I mean, I've got mountains here. When you see this trim, don't hesitate to buy it. I don't like to buy the dark colors because, you know, you don't get the same effect. But when you see the lighter colors, grab it and pick it up. You know, you're paying $1 or $2 for it, and very, very versatile to create your own new and unique trims. You can just glue little paper flowers on here and again create a whole new look to it. Now, when you're working with this stuff, you can, I don't know if you can see here, but they have the end taped, and that's because as soon as you cut it, it's going to start to unravel. So when you want to cut off a piece, I usually put a piece of Scotch tape around here first, and then I cut through the Scotch tape so that there's just a little bit holding it together, and then I will run it back and forth in my sewing machine if I'm going to worry about it showing. You can add, there's different ways to cover up the ends. And of course, depending on how you're using it, you may not have an end showing, but you can cover it with flowers or gems or beads, or just flatten it down as much as you can and put a little embellishment over top. So lots of ways to use this. And, you know, right now I'm showing you with it, using it where this is, coming downwards, but you can also go the other direction and add things the other way as well. So this is on the bottom or on the outside of your journal. If you want to have it running across the front cover of your journal, of course I don't have one handy here, but you can have it running across the front cover of your journal as well, and then still add a variety of trims and things to create a flow of this embellishment and not have it go from so high to flat. So you want to create a little bit of a build up here to allow it to flow back into your journal. So there's a few ideas for you there. Again, if I ever have a chance, I better have a chance. I got all this stuff. But when I have a chance to make something, I will show you again how I used it and how it started. So that, I got to separate this here now. And that's my haul for today. And I'll just put this away. We'll mix these up. All of this stuff does get put in its rightful place as soon as I'm done this video. In fact, while I'm waiting for it to upload, that's what I do, is put all this stuff away. So going back to, oh, I already have more room. Look at this. I even have some empty space. So going back to this little children's notebook, I've started something new, and I'm really happy with how this is turning out. And I will show you in another video. I don't have it close by today. I made myself a box because I like to make boxes, and it is 6 inches wide. It is 11 inches long, and it's 5.5 inches deep. And I did it for a reason. So when I get a book like this, I right away take 10 sheets out. 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm not going to do all 10 while you're watching. I'll do the rest when you're not watching. I take 10 sheets out, and now this is larger than 8.5 by 11. Do I have an 8.5 by 11 paper here? Well, I have this. This is 8.5 by 11. So you can see how much larger it is. And I right away make 10 signature pages with this. It doesn't mean I have to make them the same way every time, but I make 10 the same way, and I stick them into this box. And I now have a box that has probably about 200 sheets in it. And I have 10 and then 10, 10, 10, and they're all separated with a little folder. And what I do, and maybe I could show you that on Friday as a follow-up. And what I do is I right away turn up an edge because I want this to stay at the 8.5 by 11. And I can either tear that off after when I'm going to use it in a book, or I can cut it off, or I can glue it down. And so this is the 8.5 by 11, but you know, when we put pages in a journal, into a signature, you want them to be a little bit smaller. So I usually go about 5, you know, when you fold an 8.5 by 11, it's 5.5. So I usually go about 5 1/4. So that's 10.5. So I have a ruler here, and so this is 10.5 right here, about. And I will take this piece now, and I don't care if it's perfect, because you're not going to, I mean, I don't care if it's a perfect measurement each time. I'm just giving you this as a measurement for today. And I won't take this off. I won't take this off because I wait until I'm working on the book and then I decide, because this could be a side tuck. This I might cut off altogether. This I might put down as a reinforcement for the page. So I just leave it folded like this until I'm ready to use it. And I fold it in half because it's going to go into a journal. And this gets piled up with all my other signature pages. And then when I want to put together a journal, I just pick through the items that I want. And then when I get down to where I only have one left of this, I go and get that book and I do another 10 sheets or 20 sheets. If it's something I'm going to use a lot of, and I like coffee stain paper, I always use lots of, so I usually fold 20, 30 sheets. But now I've got them all in one spot. So I will, on Friday, I'll show you that. I've got them all in one spot for the purpose of doing journals and signatures, and they're ready to go. So it's just an idea for you if you do a lot of journal making, or if you've got a pile of covers and you want to get started. This is a great way to get a little bit ahead of yourself and remind yourself of the different papers that you have. So if you do this every time you get a new type of paper come into your studio or your workspace, right away fold 10. Like I said, it doesn't mean I have to fold it this way all the time. I may have them come and fold them into smaller pieces, or cut them in half and use them as smaller sheets. But this is just a reminder that I have this paper. And if I'm doing a smaller journal, I think what I'm going to probably do is come up with a smaller size box to store them in, and have smaller papers ready to go in there as well. But this, if I am doing a smaller journal, it's not to say that I couldn't take this. I want this paper, I can go and get the book and make 10 smaller signature pages. But this is just allows me to have some ready, so I can just pick and choose and grab as I want, depending on what I'm doing. I've started doing that with colored paper that comes in the house, different lined paper, foolscap, loose leaf papers, anything with graph papers or ledgers. So they're all getting folded up. And then when I take a book apart, I'm taking 10 book pages from that book and folding it right away to make a signature. Now, sometimes I'm using them 2 pages together and then cut them down to fit in that box. Or sometimes I'm just using 1 page folded. Music sheets, dictionary pages, advertisement books, all those kinds of things could be pre-folded and ready, so that you aren't running around trying to find your different papers or digging through boxes and looking for stuff. You've got 10 sheets. And when you use the last sheet, you can just go and get the book and fill it up again. So that's my little spiel for you on that today. So now I have to pause the camera because I forgot I've got to do my Thrifty Thursday draw. So my Thrifty Gifty. So we'll be right back. And I'm back. So I've got the stuff for picking a winner. and I had 24 unique comments. There was 48 comments, but that's because I answered everybody. And so the winner for today is Brenda Clark. Now, Brenda Clark, I think she's won before, and she's also a friend in our partner in crime in this junk journal journey that we're on. So as I've told you before, when I pick someone that's pretty close to me, they win a prize, but I always go back and pick a second one because, yeah, Brenda's well into this, but you know, she's still my friend and I still want to send her things. But because of that, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm picking favorites. It just happens that the picker picks favorites sometimes. But I also want to have a second winner. And so my second winner is Lulu Fabrique, I think is how you would say that. She's been a long time commenter, and I know she hasn't won anything because I don't think I've sent her anything. So Lulu, please be sure to get a hold of me and give me your address information. Brenda, I have yours. But Lulu, yeah, if you could contact me on Facebook or friend me on Facebook and send me a private message, that would be great. And then I can send a package out to you. So woohoo, 2 winners this week. Yay. That's it for my Thrifty Thursday haul, Thrifty Canucks haul for today. But I think I might just play on the with the video camera on, and I'm going to do a little mini video and you guys can tell me what you think of it. Just to give you an idea, I'm just going to, don't get too dizzy now. I'm just going to see if I can scoot you over here. This is right beside me. It is a pile of paper, and if I make a wrong move, it's all going down on the floor. So I've decided that this is what I'm going to work on next, and I'm going to, yeah, see, something just fell on the floor. I'm going to leave the camera on and play around, and then I'm going to post the video and let you see it, and you guys can tell me what you think. But yeah, that's it for now. As always, I wish you a very creative day, and the weekend is soon upon us, so I wish you a very creative weekend. Tomorrow will be my Friday follow-up. I'm going to show you something. I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be something. And stay tuned. I might have this video up tonight, if this second video. If not, I'll have it up tomorrow. But I wish you all a very creative day and a creative weekend and a creative forever. And I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.